it's very different. Switching from grass to plastic to grass to plastic is a very different game. The ball moves differently, it holds up differently, it runs differently, and it's a different pressure on the body as well. You know, turning, there's a lot of friction caused on plastic pitches, which make playing on plastic pitches quite hard work. And Rizal is a massive pitch. It's a good level plastic pitch, but it is very big, and it just sucks the life out of you. He played many a game. He's thrown himself into a tackle. He played many a game on this pitch, and it does just suck the energy from players.
BALI fancied the cross and then decided against it because there was only Lurby inside the penalty box lurking. Nori did well enough to keep possession of the ball and then win the free kick, which was neatly given away by Mendy. Box lurking. Nori was just running into a cul-de-sac more than anything else. All was also possession of the ball there. He was helping the free kick, which was so it's a free kick to BALI by Mendy. Box lurking. Nori was just running into a cul-de-sac more than anything else. All was also possession of the ball there. He was helping the free kick, which was a free kick to BALI by Mendy. Box lurking. Push through. It's free kick quickly taken into space, finding Pateria. Scored the opening goal, of course. Pateria into space, finding Pateria. Shot was spilled by the goalkeeper, taken by Stefan Schrock, and then Schrock himself clipped to the penalty box for 2-0 on the spot by Marino. Pateria into space, finding Pateria was spilled in the AFC Cup. Keeper taken by Stefan, getting his customary goal. Penalty box, CERES beat by 2-0 on the spot by Marino. I think the next step that they need, Cup so close already in the CERES beat by 2 ASEAN zone stages. Actually, to win it in the ASEAN zone, I think here is Stefan Schrock that they need. Once again, trying to take them on. Already in the viewers watching it all the way. It's going to be a corner to CERES to the ASEAN zone. I think here is Stefan Schrock that they need. Feeling the effects of that shoulder charge on him by Taufik. The league hasn't started yet, so we'll be happy to leave here starting 11 on. That's going to be an easy goal. Defense all at sea. Marinon, just as it was in the first game, so very quiet in that first half, and all of a sudden in the second half he's come to life and he's gotten his brace.
That's very poor, very poor from BALI. One of the smallest players on the pitch wins a header direct from a set piece. Ahmad marking him, not known for his defensive capabilities, but got to be doing better than that. They let this move off the ball, but even so, that's very disappointing from BALI's point of view, but kills the game off. And really should be game, set and match CERES now. I think we'll see a lot of keep ball from here on in.
His 35th.
Welcome to Summoner's
Humans are inherently flawed, and yet I trust them more than the divine.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
"19 minutes left. If they can get a goal back." Launch some sort of attack, possibly get back to 2. Maybe I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here, but got to change something.
Gavin Kwan finding space with Roning's first touch of the ball. Here is Jabez Roning. Mighty quick. Trying to impact the game in the best possible way. Asking some questions of Mitagishi, a defender who can be had when you run at him. The problem is that Yumi before him didn't even do that at all. Hooks ball inside by Gavin Kwan, easily cleared away, and here's Marianon. It's just bullied aside. The referees allow play to go on. Here comes Jabez. Ronnie again. He's hanging it a long time in the air, nobody showing any sort of interest to attack it, so the goalkeeper had a very easy catch. We got to go back to the 13th of March.
My wings are heavy, but not as
2018 for the last time, and the only other time that Bali United failed to score in this competition against Tanhua.
outrun.
And they've got 18 minutes to keep the flame burning here as they rage against the dying of the light. Mendy, space to run on into. He knew he was going to take the shot, and goalkeeper didn't get anywhere near it. And Lopez Mendy has put this game beyond the reach of Bali United, beyond the reach of Nadeo.
Well, as you said, this is starting to get embarrassing now. Pacheco has had a half that he would just want to forget. Gives the ball away fairly straightforward. The ball's played straight in behind him. And it's a great finish from Mendy. There's only one place he can put the ball, and he puts it on a postage stamp. It's an excellent finish. That is what he is all about. Certainly not the most talented player in the CERES lineup, but direct and finishing, he's been doing that for years. That's why he's got such a big smile on his face. That's his bread and butter.
Well, he scored their opening goal of 2020. He played against Shan United in the qualifiers for the Asian Champions League and scored the opening goal in that game. And here he is, probably the nail in the coffin in this game. Another 4-0 victory for CERES, just as it was in the opening match.
Bali really struggling here. It's a difficult one to swallow, this one, for the Bali players. They know they've got players missing, but even so, you need your big players to step up in games like this. And the first half was a tight affair. There wasn't 27% possession for Bali. CERES really turning the screw on them in the second half, though, stepping up and absolutely punishing every mistake that's being made. And Pacheco just can't find a white shirt right now. He's given the ball away 3 or 4 times straight to CERES players. And at this level, against a team like CERES, one mistake and they will put you to the sword, as they have done very, very well against this Bali outfit.
It will be Bali's biggest defeat in the AFC Cup. For CERES, of course, they did win 9-0 against Boinket back in 2018. But this is more like the CERES that we know of, not the sloppy CERES that produced a second half performance against Quang Ninh, where the defense was all at sea in that game. This is more like the fluid, flowing CERES football at the AFC Cup. have come to recognize over the last couple of years. Ricky Fandrin stepping forward, hoping for a consolation goal for Bali. They've got 15 minutes to try to find it. Yabes Roni is interested in the second ball, of which he has won, almost. He will win it now. Space opening up. That's a poor touch to take the ball away from him, and just the impetus of the attack completely lost with just that one touch.
That's the difference, isn't it? As that ball was moved out, there was space for Ahmad to get his head up, touch it in front, and get at the goalkeeper. If that was the other side, if that was CERES, that's what they're very good at doing. That first touch is always into space. It's very direct. Bali just not being able to match the ability of the powerhouse that is CERES.
You have to say that Yabes Roni has tried his very best, at least since he's been on the pitch, to make an impact in this game. There's been a lot more cut and thrust from him than it was from Fahmy earlier on.
Kane just asking for time there with what we'll call a gentlemanly injury.
Lily Pali found a teammate at the near post, but it's going to take a very special header from that angle to actually beat Muller.
Well, it is a very strong CERES side. I mean, all of these players, half of the Filipino players actually have European experience, which for a club team in Southeast Asia is unheard of. This is, synonymous with CERES football. But they have a definite style about them. I think the last opponents referred to them as the Barcelona of Southeast Asia. And you can see why when they pass the ball the way they do.
Topomohu chased down by Minagishi, gave him no angle at all to find Yabes Roni, so he just toes it out for a throw to CERES, trying to put a gloss into the scoreline. Final substitution for Bali as Saimim comes on, take the place of Pruan Nori, who really hasn't enjoyed himself in the second half, especially against Stefan Schrock, who's run rings around him. He's threatening to do so again, and Yanis Robi. Referee just interrupting play for treatment to be meted out to a CERES player, which is Marinon, who is on a hat-trick, remember. Searching for his first hat-trick in this year's competition. Mendy! That would have been something special, and he knew it.
Just shaped that beautifully, didn't he? The camera angle allowed just to see the flight of that ball. And a good save from Tadeo. He is a young goalkeeper, and I'm sure that coming away from home on a plastic pitch, he'll be learning a lot from this. Very highly regarded in Indonesia, Tadeo.
Those big men still inside the penalty box waiting for a good delivery. Just rolled under the foot of Odawara. It's gone all the way back to Super. Almost charging forward unopposed. Marinon. And this, by the way, the 10th time that he scored at least 2 in a game in the AFC Cup. Those accolades keep going on for Bienvenido Marinon.
Josh Grumman being brought on here at centre-back. Good young player, getting more experience as we go. was lucky enough to coach him when he was 18. Came across from Australian youth team. He was with Brisbane for a little bit, and came into us on his Filipino passport at the time. So he came to us looking to get more football, and was happy to chase his Filipino heritage, and has just gone from strength to strength, really. Seems like the more tattoos he's got, the stronger he's got. So I don't know, maybe that's the secret. More tattoos, he'd be a stronger player. But he's gone from strength to strength now, and he's unlucky not to start this game. Super brought in, I think, just for that little bit more experience against what we expected to be a tough opponent. But yeah, John.
Shut down. Double kill.
I walk so I can feel each fracture of the earth.
Space, but it's been shut out straight away. The moment any sort of corridors opened up, the doors just closed straight away as quickly as it's just been pushed ajar as Boteria comes down and wins a free kick for CERES. A little kick out here from BALI, who are just letting their frustrations known and taking them out almost on the CERES players. Still BALI United without a win away from home in this competition. And for CERES, this their 40th game, remember. This will be their 20th win in the AFC Cup. And you'd have to say, Simon, that's quite a good record, isn't it? It's a 50% win rate.
It's an excellent record. I mean, there's a combination there of, going to visit CERES, going to play CERES away is a very difficult prospect. We talked earlier about how Bacolod is not. It's an island where you go for holiday. It's not a professional football environment, so it's quite difficult to maintain that professional attitude in run-ups to the game. The stadium is quite small. It's quite rowdy with Filipino fans.
Then win rate.
The team you're facing is made up with an awful lot of European experience. A lot of these players here all play for the national team, so they get that experience, but they're also coming in with backgrounds from playing in the German First Division, the Bundesliga. I mean, Schrocki was playing up against Bayern Munich not so long ago, so it's testament to the quality that he has. But guys like Dennis Villanueva, Maniot are all coming from decent European leagues with Filipino passports. This is the advantage that holds, being able to hold the two passports. But yeah, CERES, I can see them dominating for some time to come as well, because domestically there isn't really anyone that can match them. Players, as good an outfit as they are, just don't have the financial clout to be able to go after the players that CERES can.
Well, another very good shift put in by OJ Boteria, scoring the opening goal of this game in that first half, where they found a breakthrough so hard to come by against a very stubborn and obdurate BALI defense. A little spill by the goalkeeper. It still needed to be finished, and he did the needful. And it's a ready-made replacement, isn't it, Marasigan? And he talks about them having Filipino players in the first 11, and Filipino players on the bench as well. And how strong and deep this team is. That's going to be handball.
Quite an obvious handball from Mendy there.
Warawara, calm as you like.
BALI just can't get on the ball here now.
Lerby, who's had the quietest of second half. Probably the only thing here that's quieter than the atmosphere. Lerby, Eliandri. It's very unfortunate for the man who scored the winning goal over the weekend against Barito. And has an opportunity now to make that run in behind the defense. He's worked his jewels off in this game, you'd have to say, Simon, but to no effect, because he's just had no support up front at all.
No, I think the players around him, very difficult for a striker, especially a lead striker in a game like this where the team set out defensively. We saw a similar figure cut by Djokovic last night of Lauteota. We both worked on that game. Both centre forwards putting an absolute shift in, but not getting a huge amount of support from players around them. A little bit of a difficult one for Bali because they know without sickness and injury they'd have brought a much stronger team to this game. Shock just taking a little bit of offence at that tackle.
He's gone straight to Taufik, almost eyeballing him.
Someone's getting a yellow card, could be Shock.
It was actually Samima who was gone right through Shock.
Shock picking up a yellow card there, can't quite work it out. Gets kicked, reacts, and he takes a yellow card.
Samima kicks and gets away. So 4 goals, 4 bookings for CERES. Well, the Shock star still can't believe it. He's just looking around and almost asking not just the bench but also the assistant referee and the 4th official on the bench whether he's got any sort of VAR or looking at the monitors over there. Two minutes remaining. And Bali hoping that there won't be a lot of injury time and Misery will be put out pretty shortly. They'll at least have 2 home matches in the second half of this campaign to really get themselves back up again and hopefully become one of the best runners-up to progress into the next stage. Yabes tipping it into space. Villanueva told to clear by Groman. He does the needful. Running on. Uncharacteristically poor touch from him. Taufik, another CERES player down with cramps. Bali, of course, with their season up and running in full steam now. 2 matches into a new season. The Filipino League haven't ticked off yet, and maybe that match rustiness still in the CERES players. It's Sean Kane who has gone down. You know, you've had a look at some teams in the ASEAN zone now, Simon. What do you think CERES' chances are of winning the ASEAN zone? I guess even if they don't win this competition, but for bragging rights to be the best club in Southeast Asia, they would want to win the ASEAN zone at least in the AFC Cup.
Yeah, there isn't many teams in this region who have not only the strength of experience in the players they have within the squad, but also the threat of home advantage. You know, I've said it before, it's a difficult place to come, so that plays into their favour. And then they have experienced enough players to go away from home and know what it takes to try and win in these places. You know, Stefan Schrock, Marion, all of these guys have all played difficult. Maniot, they all have the experience to go away from home and understand how to play away from home. Not just go gun-ho and try and win the game, maybe a little bit more reserved, maybe keep the ball a little bit more, take less chances. The coach has to give less instruction to more experienced players. And I think that's the secret behind CERES' success. Difficult to beat at home and experienced when they go away from home. It makes them a very difficult opponent for pretty much anyone in Asia, let alone Southeast Asia.
And do you think that they will have the chance when they're up against the big boys, maybe the North Korean sides and the West Asian sides as well, when they come into play?
Listen, when big teams that are used to playing in front of lots of fans and have great facilities come to Panhard Stadium and play CERES at home, I don't care who you are, you're going to struggle there. It's a difficult place to come in, and we saw that 2 or 3 times. We saw the teams from all over Asia coming in to play them, and we couldn't quite understand how a Philippine club team is able to pull off these results. But when you look at the players and the experience they have and you go through their individual profiles, you see just how good players these are. And such is the way that Philippine football is with its dual passport setup. It allows, you know, other teams could do this if they had the finances to be able to do it. But CERES have a very good backing, very football orientated, and they're able to bring in players like Schrock and Muller, who's playing in European leagues, and guys like Maniot are attracted.
Marion, maybe still time to get a hat-trick, in which he got 2 last year. This will be 5 goals in 3 games now in the 2020 edition of the AFC Cup for Bienvenido Merinon. Ball won by Menekishigi. Here is Schrock. Back to Unagishi. Schrock available and willing. Trying to set up another one. He's already set up a couple already in this match. The shot that was spilled and winning the penalty, and then the corner which was headed into the back of the net by Marinon. Fulcrum and the glue which sticks the CERES team together. Certainly stitches them. Mistake.
Lobby's still full of running. But that threat just snuffed out. It's been a difficult day for Bali.
It's the pitch that actually bounced the ball away from the outreach of Maniot. Opportunity now for a shot at goal, of which they haven't even had one in the second half. Yabes Roni. Still Yabes. Drilled it back. Oh, it was close enough. But Muller will tell you that he had that in control all the time.
Well, he's certainly offered more since he's came on. Fami, I think, found the going a little bit tough. Only a young lad, I'm sure he'll learn a lot, but Yabes looks a little bit more up to the challenge.
All the way back to the goalkeeper. Nadeo taking a lifetime to take that one. Finally gets it away, but only as far as another CERES player. Odobaro Edwards puts it up in central midfield. Broik asking for the ball, hoping to at least get a touch before the referee blows the final whistle. Villanueva back to Grumman. Minagishi, all of a sudden in the second half, so much room for him, which he knocked off in the first. Stefan Schrock yet again dancing away from a couple of challenges by that little Rabona to find Mendy in the penalty box. So Bali United fall to their biggest defeat in the AFC Cup against a CERES side that put on all the stops in the second half. They went through the gears in the first and found only one goal. OJ Proteria putting it into the back of the net after the keeper spilled. Stefan Schrock's shot. Schrock very much involved in the second half, winning the penalty. Marinon then profited from the corner from him, and then Lopez Mendy finishing it off. 4-0. CERES beat Bali United.
And Bali United FC of Indonesia, nil.
And many thanks to your commentary team, Mark Richmond and Simon McMenemy. So after a rather subdued first 45 minutes at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, the game really came into life in the second, didn't it? As CERES Negros really hammered home the home advantage, scoring 3 goals in that second half, winning 4-0 overall. And Bali United, Roshan, really just capitulated.
Yeah, they did. I mean, you look at Bali United, and again, it was always going to be difficult for them with the players that they were missing from the lineup, the quality that was missing from this starting 11, from this squad. They tried to make it as difficult as they possibly could in that first half. They tried to sit back. They were very deep and compact. But just one mistake and a special moment from Stefan Schrock opened the game up for CERES. And we said, it would suit CERES to a T here. Now that they had that lead, it opened up, and they ended up scoring 4 goals, pick up an important 3 points.
Yeah, and an important 3 points that makes sure that they are flying high at the top of Group G on 7 points. Tung Kwang Nin, who picked up 3 points today as well. We'll show you that match later on. Currently sit in second. Is it all over for the likes of Spirang and Bali United now, would you say, Rosh?
Difficult. Look, you need a big performance in the next 3 match days. If and whenever they sort of take place, that's going to be kind of interesting to see with the situation around the virus. But you'd have to say with CERES Negros, comfortable position, such a strong squad as well. The overall performances you know, you'd say they are the favourites to go through top of this group for me, Simon.
Well, flexed a bit of muscle tonight, didn't they? They really put on a show in the second half, and I think Bali were a little bit stunned by just how good CERES were. They continue form like that, like they showed in the second half. I don't see anyone possibly in Southeast Asia being able to match a performance like that.
Yeah, it did take a while to get going this match. We talked about the attacking prowess of CERES Negros. In the first half, they were only able to score the one goal, and that one coming the way of OJ Pateria. A rather fortuitous one after the save shot from Stefan Schrock, Simon.
Yeah, we talked about how they were putting in an awful lot of crosses to pretty much no avail, and it was the first time that they'd actually been able to attack that central position. And a man like Schrocky, he's always going to cause problems, dances past a few tackles. Keeper possibly could have pushed that a bit further, but I think the pace it came out, he was happy to get two hands on it, and OJ makes no mistake.
Yeah, it got a little bit bitty this match, a little bit tetchy as well, and the penalty awarded here after Stefan Schrock went down appeals that he got the ball there, but Pacheco ultimately nothing to really complain about, Roshan.
Yeah, it's a clear penalty. He comes in from behind. Schrock, once again, you know, they find a breakthrough because Bali are pushing forward. They had to make a change in the second half. They had to take a few more risks. They had to take more gambles to get themselves back into the game. Schrock taking an advantage on the counter-attack, and then Marignon steps up to put away the penalty.
So Marignon scoring his first of the night there, and he would score his second header from not the tallest man on the pitch by any stretch of the imagination, Simon.
No, poor defending here. Poor defending for the second goal, I think, leading up to the penalty, and you know, you can't be brushed off the ball that easily at a set piece. That's just too easy. And to give a man like Marion his first goal in the game, you can't let him dictate.
Yeah, the floodgates are well and truly open, and that was a very nicely struck goal there by Robert Lopez Mendy as CERES Negros completed a 4-0 demolition job against Bali United at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Meanwhile, over in Cambodia, the other match in Group G saw Svai Rieng host Tan Quang Ninh of Vietnam, and we'll show you the highlights here. The first goal going the way of the away side, and it was Hong Kwan who involved, and Nhung Hai Hui who got the goal there, Rockin.
Yeah, Hai Hui scored on match day 2 as well, scoring the equaliser against CERES. Gets himself on the score sheet once again. Some good work. Nice persistence there to find the back of the net.
On the stroke of half time, the home side would draw things.
Battles bring out some never emotions.
Level, and this was a rather beautiful solo goal and a nice finish at the end of it, Simon.
Brilliant.
These mortal cycles begin anew.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Some call me evil.
Your
Shall I
turret
prove
has
them
been
right?
destroyed. Your turret has been destroyed.
Only those you love can break your heart. bound. Once I had grace, now I have pain. The shattered soul. My flaws are a badge of honor. I chose my path.
Has been destroyed.
I haven't
Your
told
turret has been destroyed.